Tokens are cheap, attention is not. Last month, I switched the AI model I work with all day. The new one immediately started telling me it had been wrong. I trusted it less for that. I was wrong to lose trust. The model was not at the fault. I came off Claude Opus 4.8 and started running Claude Opus 5 and Claude Fable 5 side by side across several projects. What I noticed first was not the speed, it was not the output quality, it was the corrections. Opus 5 kept catching itself before it finished, far more often than 4.8 ever did, more often than Fable 5 does on the same work. I went looking for why. More self-checking and more mistakes. I cannot prove that it was changed inside the model, but it was not making more mistakes. It was showing me more of them, and watching a system correct itself all days wears down your confidence in it. If it caught that many, how many did it miss? So I stopped guessing and measured my own transcripts, not a benchmark, not split by model, just my own workspace. 30 days, 33,000 lines, about 357 corrections. It made to its own work. A second agent caught 29 over a shorter window. In a hand-checked sample, 86% it found alone, only 14% come after a pushback from another agent or from me. Though those numbers cannot say which model corrects itself more, for that I only have what I see. But what mattered was not the count, it was when the correction arrived. One group stood apart, it would recommend something and ask me to approve it. I would approve, it would begin the work, and only then run the check. Then it took the recommendation away. One of those nearly cost me 181 documents. It proposed deleting a registry entry that I looked dead. The folder it pointed at was gone. I approved. It ran one query before acting. The entry still owned 181 documents. It retracted. Nothing was lost. That is not the point. Underneath, this is a habit that sounds obviously correct. Recommend cheaply, verify before it acting. It saves tokens. You only pay for the check you actually need, but it prices the wrong thing. Tokens are cheap and getting cheaper. The scarce resource in agentic coding is the human in the loop. A check that runs after I approve cannot make the recommendation better. It can only spend my attention twice on one decision. So I now ask for 3 things. First, verify before you recommend, not before you act. When a human approval sits between the two, a check that comes after it is not a check. It is an apology. Second, price my attention above your compute. A recommendation that is cheap to produce and expensive to withdraw was never cheap. Third, tell me what changed for me. If you caught it before it cost me anything, fix it and log it. If it touched a decision I had already made, interrupt me now. Never go quiet to look good. That third one is not solved, and I will not pretend it is. I want fewer corrections in front of me. I also do not want an agent deciding which mistakes I'm allowed to see. In episode 1, I said AI made software cheap to generate, but not cheap to prove correct. It is the same lesson. One step on. It has made work cheap to produce. It has not made work cheap to approve. So for anyone building with agents, how do you decide what is worth interrupting a human for? I would genuinely love to hear your story. I'm David Wang. Stop fraud before it moves.